Gathering reference images from internet would be our first step. What we need to make sure is that we have large images. Setting up in Google in Tools, Size, Large. We want to gather as biggest resolution as we can. For example, this one looks big enough. In a corner we can see the resolution, 3800, 2700 pixels. Very good. Okay, what is important is to gather high-resolution images that will give us lots of information about fur structure and complexity in a fur. And what we also want to find different light rigs, like sunny light rig, maybe this one overcast, lots of details, this one. After gathering as many high-res images as we can from different angles, looking different details, we also see that this character has nice patterns on his back. We want to also capture that. Looking some back images and collecting as many images of his back, front. After gathering images, you want to, in the same time, load them, examine them from close up and see how much you can see in detail all these hairs. Everything is important. How long the hair is, what colors of the hairs are in these regions. Obviously, we can see there are some black, some brown, some whites. Do we have tip to root and root to tip color? We obviously can see here some black ones mixing with the rest of the stray hairs. Yeah, and we also want to see some specularity responses, how response on the sun. For example, here, very interesting element of chipmunk is his tail, and you want to see how that is structured in a color. We can see here we have tips white, then there is a dark brown, almost black, and then towards the root is lighter browns, some white strays. All these details are important to us later. Whiskers around the eyes. Here there is no hair. There's some black pattern there. This one really high res. We can see here lots of details. This will help us later to determine how we will paint our masks for our hair. After gathering images of back pattern and high-res images, we want to look and find out as much as we can about hair structure. First thing that we will see here is that chipmunk belongs to the family of squirrels. It's very hard to find chipmunk informations. That's why we are looking squirrels. How many hairs squirrel can have? It's around 3 million. That's important when we deal with the groom because we want to have the same density, how long the hair can be. We can see here that is 8 to 12 millimeter thick in undercoat. Height of undercoat is around 8 to 12 millimeters, and coarse hairs are up to 20 millimeters. This is a red squirrel. Some details about it. There are some images from microscope here where we can see what is very interesting for us is how big the medulla is. So that would be medulla. This is a cortex. That will help us to set up the shader properly. This is a guard hair. And here in the corner we can see that this is 20 micrometers. So this hair is around 18-20 micrometers. Here's another image of the same. And this one, it says here under fur, much thinner hair for undercoat. And here we can see cuticles. This is one of the papers that are used to create Karma Fur shader. And here we have some measurements that are done to compare measurements with the simulation and rendering model that this paper is looking into. And this is some rendering examples. The mouse is closest to what the squirrel or chipmunk is. So here we can see that the mouse is in IOR 138. That is what is important for us. What we will do in the shader, there are presets, and we will first pick up the mouse preset and go from there. Here we will actually check. We are looking here some mouse hairs under microscope, and here we have some squirrel hairs under microscope as the previous ones we saw, and also I found chipmunk hair that can show us that they are quite close. Unfortunately, there is not so many chipmunk hairs under microscope, but the squirrel would be sufficient.